Alright, well, Convict is getting raced on the 20th of September, so what's the date today? About the 10th, so we've got about 10 days. It's been sitting since chopped last year, so almost a year. So we'll uncover it, and I'm not going to bring it home with me, because I've got to come back past this way to race it anyway. It doesn't need a wash. I'm just going to see if I can get it going today, because I'm currently moving out of my house at the minute, so I don't want to bring stuff back home if I'm just going to move it back again. So yeah, I'll just see whether I can prime the fuel, throw a battery in it, and see if we can get it fired up to at least know it's right for Sydney Drags. That tyre pumped up while I'm getting the battery. Well, hopefully. Right, so we're doing a bit of a Convict prep for the Bangers and Mash meeting in Sydney. Now I just brought it home. Now, while it's here, I'm gonna make a like a guide for the pulley for the belt. So this has been through that many different pulley and belt combinations and stuff, but it tends to still ride just a little bit off the front of the crank pulley. So what I'm gonna do, see there. So I'm going to make an aluminium plate that goes on the front there. That comes out about 50 mil, that sort of just holds that belt on. So I picked this sheet of 5 mil alloy up on Marketplace yesterday. Whole big sheet of it, and that's the shape I've traced out. So I'm going to get the plasma cutter, cut that out, and then I'll drill and tap it. It's quite thick, that pulley. Drill and tap it into the pulley to hold on there, and hopefully that stops the belt wanting to just walk off a little bit. Once I do that, then I'm gonna just go through the fuel system, clean everything up, pull the carby apart, just give that a clean, and then just make sure it's all running and right for Sydney in a week and a bit. So yeah, that's the plan. That'll work. I'm going to tidy it up and finish it off once I'm sure it all seems to work. Just going to stop that belt and walk off the front, hopefully. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I've just pulled all the plugs out. Just going to pull the bowls off the carby. And just check that's all clear. Might just flow some fuel through the regulator. Just make sure that's all working all right and looks clean. And we'll try and fire them up. Alright, well it looks like it's going to run. I just had a mate who wants to borrow the trailer for tonight or tomorrow. So what I might do is pump the rear tyre up in this, unload it, put her in the shed. I can drive it sort of into the shed. And then just double check a few things. And then yeah, it should be right to go for Sydney. But that belt looked like it was staying on for now. I don't know what it's going to do to the edge if it rubs a little bit, but it'd be nice just knowing it's not going to come off. Alright, let's get her unloaded. I hate starting this up in suburbia. Throw the slicks on. Alright, so time for a quick rundown on those who aren't familiar with the Convict. So it's about a 59 Vauxhall Victor. I picked it up very cheap, a couple $100, like about 10 years ago. Or maybe not quite that long ago. It had a 202 sitting in it, and just a Trimatic Auto. It came with like a Salisbury diff and stuff. And so what I had lying around was I had a spare Volvo diff. So that's a Volvo Dana 30. They're quite narrow, very similar to a Tirana width, or maybe a little bit narrower. Same stud pattern as Tirana, 1/2 inch studs, 27 spline axles, disc brakes. Yeah, pretty good little things. The same as what I've got in the purple hatch there. I don't know if you can see it. So I had that. I had these wheels and slicks which I'd picked up years before. So they're a Volvo wheel. Would actually come off this diff, but they've got 8-inch hoops on them, and just some 26 by 8.5 15 slicks. I made all the ladder bar suspension myself. Let's see it there. It's got a bit of a diagonal track bar, and it's got a panhard bar at the rear as well. And then it's got a C4, full manual C4, Morris J2 front axle, which is actually out of the front of the slug. And then I just got some competition sort of disc brake cats, just cheap ones, Kenko brand I think they were, and some Tirana calipers, made some brackets, some 9010 old school shocks, trailer springs, adapted it all to the original steering box. Yeah, and Ford 250 Crossflow, just old school flat tappet cam in it, completely untouched bottom end from when I bought it. I think someone had to rebuild it at some point, but it certainly hasn't been had much money spent on it. Built the manifold myself. Got this blower cheap off Gumtree years and years ago. 650 Holly methanol carby on it. Yeah, I've gone through plenty of things with pulleys and stuff. I've now put the radiator in the back. just to try and get a bit more weight towards the back, just because I want it to wheel stand basically. It's got a 373 gear in it, which is good for the quarter, but I'd like a diff that I had put in for the 8th mile. There we go, put the radiator in the back. I've got some steel pipes running all the way to the front. It holds a lot of water now. Probably doesn't need it. Battery in the back there, fuel cell, pumps sticking through there. Filter here. I've got the cage coming through there onto some plates on the tubs. This bar across here that just holds some coil-over shocks. Built the cage myself and I just tacked it and got a mate to weld it up as a welder. Just in the back there, I'll pull all the seat out for the drags. And I'll pull this seat out for the drags as well. Just got an old school Speedway alloy seat in it. Hydraulic handbrake because it hasn't got a trans brake, just so I can try and stall it up a little bit off the line. Hurst quarter stick shifter, crane, Fireball High 6R ignition. So that's got this little map sensor here. And then that hooks up to the boost retard, so I can dial per PSI of boost. I can go from 0 retard to 20 degrees per PSI boost, but I normally run pretty much 0 at about 13 PSI boost. Don't pull any timing. I think it's locked at about 36, maybe a little bit less. Yeah, it seems fine with the methanol. I just got the original dash sitting in there, boost gauge and water temp, oil pressure. Yeah, that's about it. And painted the roof with like a Union Jack. Mate Ricky did all the sign writing from Regal Signs. He did the powered by Holden originally, then we changed it to Ford motor. Convict, Tastuned. Yeah, she's a pretty cool thing. It started off very, very budget, and it still doesn't owe me a lot of money, but plenty of hours. And then it's got those 14-inch old school Tasman wheels. I narrowed them, and then just got some Olympic Air Ride 5.9 14 old school tyres. They're probably 60 years old, those tyres, but they've been 119 mile an hour. So yeah, there we go. Well, that was easy. It took me about half an hour to do it all. So it mounts, I've got these bolts here that come up through like a big solid piece at the top, and then ties into the side mounts. I'm just going to see what it weighs empty, and then I'm going to fill it up. Right, so empty. 14 kilos. Alright, so she's all finished. It's about 25 kilos. Hanging right off the back. Should be nice. Let's get her in there. That'll make a nice little jacking point as well. Alright, it's a finished project. Oh, finished product, sorry. So I've got some, those big washers there, and that's going through like it's like a little rail thing through there. And then it bolts up into there as well. So that's good, an extra 25 kilos hanging right out the back. And what else I've got, just picked up these shocks because the current one's in there. Absolutely stuck, she just bounces. I'm going to swap them out.